All right, peace be upon you, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Now, in today's video, I want to speak about a very important subject and a common error I see in this so called Quran alone community online, which usually comes from correctly pointing out a lot of the doctrinal errors of the Sunni. And oftentimes, a Quran aloner can feel like they're better than the Sunni because they reject the Hadith and they hold to certain doctrines and even flat Earth. Of course, I'm a flat Earther. Do I believe rejecting Hadith is important? Yes. Do I believe that flat Earth is important? Yes, no problem. But they are not the most important things. Doesn't mean they're not important, but they are not the most important things. So I've seen this many, many times in my life. Let me pull up Sunni praying. Let's see, Sunni praying. Although this religion, it causes problems, it has spread a lot of slander about the Prophet, it has a lot of idolatrous practices. Putting those things aside, let's say there's an individual, I don't know, let's just put a Muslim praying. Okay. Let's say we have an individual here. Let's call him Ahmed. Okay? Ahmed, this man, yes, he does go to the mosque. He may or may not. Perhaps, I don't think that he would, but let's say he could call himself a Sunni. He does the 5 daily rituals, okay? But he gives charity and he genuinely does these things out of his love and respect and admiration of God. I've seen this. People who go to the mosques, they perhaps disregard some of the more blatantly degenerate and disgusting hadith, like the one about Moses and that rock that stole his clothes and he was running around naked beating him with a stick, or just some of the worst collections that you see in Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. But let's say somebody like this, uh, he quotes the hadith every now and then, he goes to the mosque, his doctrine is not too different to what the Sunnis espouse, and he obviously avoids all the shirk and the idolatry. This man here, who remembers God often and maintains a regular spiritual practice and regimen of praying 5 times a day, and he does it out of his love for God. Remember, I've seen this. I have seen this there are quite a few people out there that are like that. This man right here, this Sunni that you look down upon so much, he is 100 times better than the so-called Quran aloner. Let me pull up an image here. Um, Internet atheist. Although this is an image about an atheist, we can just use this as a caricature of the Quran aloner. The internet Quran aloner. What's a good image here? Yeah, let's say somebody like this. The internet Quran aloner who doesn't remember God, doesn't genuinely pray, doesn't take time specifically out of his day to glorify the Lord with his head on the ground and reading the Quran. His only engagement with the doctrine of God is to debate people on the most spurious matters of doctrine, whether it be flat earth and globe earth. And yes, I have opinions on these matters. They are important, but they are not the most important thing. The most important thing in our life is to develop a spiritual practice and to be walking the spiritual path, which means to remember God often, to give charity, to do good. And the Sunni, unfortunately, he makes the mistake of thinking that everybody has to remember God in the exact same way he does. We have to all do the same prayer in Arabic and whatnot. I'm more organic and free flow. I understand that prayers are going to look different between different people, but it will involve reading the Quran, glorifying God, but it can be in many different languages. You could be have your head on the ground, you could be on your knees, you could be standing looking towards the sky, whatever it is. But um, despite the fact that the Sunni he makes, I should say, he's crystallized his specific regimen of praying. Even if we put that aside, this regiment has produced righteous people. I know that there are people who remember God often and they are better as a result, because when they go to the prayer, when they do their ritual salah, which again, I don't believe salah means ritual prayer, but when they go ahead and do that, they're doing it out of their love and fear of God. Then there are those who obviously they go through it as if it's just a rain dance. There's no spiritual meaning behind it. They just kind of whip through it. They don't know what they're saying. Those people, it has no power. But for those who do it out of the remembrance of God, they are walking the spiritual path. Whereas the internet Quran aloner who eats junk food, cusses a lot, watches filthy entertainment, listens to filthy music, doesn't watch his tongue. What else? I don't know. Instead of developing and cultivating the fruits of the Quranic doctrine within him and rectifying his character, reconciling himself with the Almighty. His only, like I said, his contribution is just to bash people on the head who don't agree with him on a specific theory. Oh, you don't give credence to the number 19? You're an idiot. I'm going to leave comments in your comment section. Oh, you do believe in the number 19 and I don't? I'm going to leave comments in your comment section calling you an idiot or calling you bad, criticizing you. Oh, you believe there's a ritual salah? You're an idiot. You're bad. Oh, you don't believe in a ritual salah? You're bad. You're going to hell. You're terrible. Listen, or you believe in flat earth, you're bad, you're going to hell, you're terrible, you're stupid, you're dumb. Oh, you don't believe in flat earth or whatever it is. Either way, this man here has forgotten what it means to be spiritual, what it means to be Muslim. Despite, again, the doctrinal errors within this path, I accept that this path, if somebody follows it out of their love of God, they give charity, they remember God often, this is a way to paradise. And it's not just the hadith path. You'll find righteous, honorable people within the Sikh religion who disregard all of the idolatry that's taught to them. You will find people who go to the Gurdwara. You will find people who go to the church who just believe in God. You will find, and they don't really care about the whole Jesus thing. Whenever their pastor, I don't know, let's say church sermon, whenever their pastor starts speaking about Jesus in an inappropriate way, the person in the background, let's get a photo. Let's say this person right here, Jack, whenever his pastor speaks about Jesus in an inappropriate way, his mind just kind of disregards it. He says whatever. He doesn't go and pray to these idols and these statues. He goes here to genuinely hear the remembrance of God. This man goes to the mosque to genuinely hear the remembrance of God. Sikh in Gurdwara. This man goes here, or this woman, this man, let's say, goes here to genuinely hear the remembrance of the Almighty. And there's a lot of beautiful remembrance of the Almighty within the GGS, within the Adi Grant. I accept that within every tradition around the world, there exists a path that can lead you to the Almighty and purifying yourself and entering the garden, despite certain doctrinal mistakes. I believe that, certainly. Look in the Quran, God does not emphasize religious cult affiliations. He emphasizes piety, good deeds, and those who remember their Lord often. These things, these groups, they don't matter. They're not this, but these groups, they don't matter. It's is the person sincerely devoted to the Almighty. So for all of you Quran aloners out there, your only job and you feel like your only engagement in the faith is to, I don't know, and I'm going to use the term, that's fine, mentally masturbate about where Mecca would be, whether it's in Petra or Jordan, or whether it's in Saudi Arabia, or whether it's in Yemen, or whether it's in the North Pole, or whether it's wherever it is, whether it's a spiritual Mecca for those more esoteric Quran aloners out there, and debating and debating and debating. That is not what the Quran is about. And you're missing the main purpose. Every path around the world, every tradition contains within it enough remembrance of God and upright doctrine that somebody can be guided thereby. It's simply those who are able to discern between falsehood and righteousness, truth and incorrect statements. And God understands as well that there are certain things that people are not going to be able to know. And that's okay. That's fine. God tests the heart. He sees what's in the heart. So I'm calling people to please, just for a moment, put down the computer, put down the phone, forget the internet for a short bit, and start truly walking the spiritual path. Pray, read the Quran, fast, purify the tongue, mortify the base and degenerate desires of the flesh. And I'm not talking about monkism, I'm just talking basically control yourself and stay within the limits of God and focus on that. Don't focus on the groups that people are in. Oh, this person's a Sunni, so he's damned. Oh, this person's in the church, so he's damned. Oh, this person's in the Gurdwara, so he's damned. Oh, this person doesn't believe the earth is flat, so I'm better than him. No, 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 no. Cultivate in yourself true godliness and purity. Like, this is also another reason why, despite I disagree with him on so many matters, I still have to say I do respect Muhammad from God. Let me pull up his channel. And despite my disagreements, I don't say bad things about him, and I look up to him. Because even though he is incorrect on the shape of the earth, no doubt, nevertheless, I see from his channel, this man genuinely loves God. Does he do a certain ritual prayer in the direction of Mecca, which I wouldn't do it in the direction of Mecca or Saudi Arabia? Yes. I don't know why my computer is tripping out. Does he engage in certain practices which I don't believe are warranted in the Quran? Yes. But I can see this man genuinely loves God by even the look on his face. He has the mark of submission. He calls people to goodness and purity despite his mistakes. We all make mistakes. And genuinely, he wants to see the world remember the Almighty more and more and more. And he's more so a force for good in this world than evil. And that's why, despite the disagreements, I have to respect him and say he is a believer, and I believe that God has a good place in store for him on the other side. Because, again, he's walking the spiritual path, and everybody's journey may look slightly different. There are multiple paths that can lead you to downtown, if you look at any city map and city layout, but they all have the same general direction and tendency. They're heading towards the center of the city. Now, you may be on the north side, I may be on the south side, somebody may be on the east or the west, but we are all converging towards the same place. And what is that place? Is it debating endlessly spurious matters of doctrine? No. The place is making us right before the Lord, that God be pleased with us, and that we dedicate and focus our lives to Him. So, this is just a call for anybody watching my videos to focus less on all of this, the internet debating, the apologetics and the groups, and focus more on the soul and understanding your Lord on a deep level. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I got to say on the matter. I hope this talk was a blessing. And yeah, peace to you. Remember, deceit abounds, so keep your eyes wide open. Peace out.